So, this is What's Your Take, right?
Yes.
So, today was my turn to create the questions. Mine is kind of like covering a few themes. It's ghosting, when someone's like icing you out, silent treatment, or even difficulty moving on. Okay?
Okay.
So, the way that I put my questions, they're scenario based. So, you have to listen to the whole scenario. That way you could best respond. And you can respond as a therapist or a woman, right?
Okay.
Okay. So, I have this guy. He's super great. I mean, perfect, really. But he only plans dates once a month. He says he wants a future with me, and I'm going to be his wife and the mother of his kids. But then I don't hear from him for 3 weeks. I think he blocks me even. I hate it. He tells me he just gets down sometimes and stressed and isolates. I don't know what to do to bring us closer together.
You need to.
That's right. You try to trick him up.
Oh my God.
Think about it. Take your time. We don't have to rush an answer.
Wow.
So this is guy that you're feeling.
This guy she's feeling.
And he disappears
And
3
he
weeks out of the month.
disappears 3
Yeah.
weeks
So
out the
basically,
month.
he's hanging out with her maybe once a month.
Once a month.
But he tells her
she's his everything.
Yeah.
She says everything. He's gonna marry her, and he's gonna impregnate her, and that's his plan.
Okay, can I answer as a friend?
Yeah, a woman.
As a
Yeah.
woman?
So that's
You
your
have
girlfriend.
social media? I mean, if you got social media and it's public and you can see everything, you
Right.
can kind of go like undercover,
And see what
see
he's
what's
doing.
see what's going on.
But then, what are
see
you
what's-
really trying to say? Get to the point of what you're trying to say.
Do you really want me?
Or why are you wasting
Why are
your
you wasting
time?
time if you're only seeing me 1 week out of the whole month?
Why play games? Like, we're grown. Why play games? Where are you the other 3 weeks? I don't believe that you're home by yourself.
Like, what you doing?
Why is your phone? Okay, so if you're home by yourself, why can't you answer the phone? Or why do I feel like I'm blocked? When you're by yourself, you should be able to answer the phone.
I'm gonna say, as a woman, I'd be like, homie's married. You don't, girl, you don't see it? But this is, that's as a woman. As a therapist, I would always tell my female clients, even male clients, like, whenever it sounds like they're being bullshitted, don't believe anything someone says. Believe everything they do. What is his actions telling you? His words are garbage. His actions are telling you he's not serious. You're not priority.
Right.
And there obviously is something else going on that is priority. So
When you're not in it, you need
You're
to
not
move
in
on
it.
and
Yeah.
move on.
cut the cord.
Seriously.
All right. Ready for this one? I was in a 3-year relationship when I decided I wanted to end it. I got an apartment in secret, and when my partner was at work, I moved out. They called me for weeks, and I never responded. I didn't know what to say. It's better for me to just ignore them. I'm not a bad person, right?
Oh, she's
What?
sneaky.
I don't really care either. What do you say to this person?
Well, really,
Remember
what is your question though? Because if you don't
Remember she
care,
said she doesn't hide her facial expressions?
yes, she
The
does.
look of disgust on her face.
That was
like,
rather sneaky. What are you up to?
Super
Like, you got your whole apartment and everything. It's like that bird that chirped from one end of the tree to the other, to the whole time. So you knew what she was doing from the gate.
yeah.
And it's not no domestic violence or anything.
no,
She
no,
just-
no. Perfect.
No issues, no nothing. Although she was planning that.
Right. But why is it that you don't want to, like, why did you do it on the sneak tip? Like, if you were in a relationship for 3 years, did that person mean absolutely nothing to you that you couldn't give them
she got
the
another
respect?
twig on the other side that she flew over to.
Did that person mean nothing to you? So listen to this. It's better for me to just ignore it. I'm not a bad person, right? But I don't really care that much. So this is my thing.
She's not empathetic.
No.
When people say, did I mean nothing to you? That's a good statement when you're dealing with a regular person capable of loving. But sometimes we couple up with people who are incapable. Maybe they're innately selfish and they only do what's best for them. And they were with you because at that time,
They needed
you were
you.
best for them.
Right.
And the moment you weren't best for them, they
Like,
were
forget
out
about
with
you.
little regard
They
to your
detach
feelings.
themselves and that's
Yeah.
just it.
I mean, it's happened before. Like, people are in relationships and it just ends relationships and don't
Out of
give
the
you...
blue.
Out of the
Don't
blue,
give
without any
explanation.
explanation, without any care, regard. Yeah, all the time.
Listen, people get in relationships and don't even know they in one. So they can definitely... one will end and you won't know we're ending.
Taisha, I'm going to call you out in the middle of my videos. Can you put that phone off, girl? She's about... Her phone, this is the second show that her phone is vibrating off the hook. Can you just turn it off?
They want her. She can't sneak out anywhere.
My God, how are you that popular? Okay. So, the other flip side of this is I always say ghosting isn't about who is ghosted. It's the shortcoming of the person doing the ghosting to have that difficult conversation. Because if I'm going to hurt you, like let's say me and you were planning to move in together.
Right.
And then I decide I don't want to. For me to engage in that conversation with you, I'm going to have to take on your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And some people don't want to do that.
Sure.
And they rather be selfish about it and say, instead of having that difficult conversation and being morally and ethically sound, I'm going to do what's best for me.
Or they'll even blame you for the
Oh,
reason.
go gaslighting, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ready? So, I was dating this guy named Julio Jose Miguel Sanchez III, and we were madly in love. I loved him so much. But 8 months into the relationship, he completely disappeared on me.
Oh, I thought you were going to say his name is Mark.
Oh, he hasn't responded to my texts, my phone calls, my emails. I hit him up on Messenger, WhatsApp. I Instagram DM'd him, and I even showed up at his house 3 times, and he did not answer the door. I am really devastated. He said I was the love of his life. I don't know what to do.
She's dedicated.
Huh?
Dedicated. Right?
She's dedicated. She's dedicated.
There's nothing that you can
But
do.
there's
He
nothing
already
you can
did.
do.
He
Leave
already
it alone. He did it for you.
You're gonna have to just talk to your friends or your therapist or both about your feelings, and then
Leave it where it's at. I mean, because the more it's almost like you're trying to look for an answer that probably don't even exist. Sometimes when you look for things, you may not find it, or you may find it and you don't want to believe it.
you may not accept it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe there's no reason that just person didn't click with you anymore, and they didn't
know how to say it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's hard to tell. Well, for some people, it's hard to tell someone, you know, I don't want to be with you anymore. I don't want to deal with you anymore. So it's easier if my actions tell you that.
Right.
And if, even for some that they don't want to believe the actions, they go and investigate.
And sometimes people, you know, like grow apart. Not necessarily that they don't love you anymore, but they just don't.
It was an 8-month relationship.
Right. So also 8 months, you really don't know a person still 100%. I mean, I feel like it takes time to know someone, and maybe in those 8 months that person didn't like what they saw,
Or they got tired.
or they found somebody better.
Especially the summertime.
Well, you guys trying to make the person depressed, or like what are you trying to do here?
Oh, we're friends.
You're asking as women, right?
Yeah.
Just like imagine the client comes in. Maybe he didn't like you. Maybe you didn't do it for him. You know.
As a friend.
All right. I mean, obviously, this person has trouble letting go of texts, calls, emails,
Stalking.
messages,
She gonna mess
WhatsApp,
around
DMs.
and get a
restraining
restraining
order. Seriously.
Right. So there's a little obsession going on, which we have to help someone with the obsession.
I would tell them to, you know, cultivate or put all that energy that they have into something more productive and something that can benefit
Rechannel
them.
that energy.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, I think that when somebody tells you, like, right away they're in love with you, and I think you have to be wary because, like you said, it takes a long time to get to know someone.
Right.
It's like, how do you love me so quickly? That's more like lust, right?
Yeah.
All right. This is not a dating one, so it's a family one. Every Sunday, I take my mom food shopping. 2 Sundays ago, I couldn't because I signed up for a pottery class I really wanted to take that was only offered on Sundays. She has been giving me the silent treatment ever since. I feel really depressed and anxious. I know I messed up. I hate when these things happen, and it's been happening since I was a little girl. once in the 5th grade I messed up and she didn't talk to me for an entire year. How do I feel better?
Well, first, I wouldn't put so much self-blame on myself. I wouldn't look at it as, if I don't get something done, it's essentially my fault. In a sense, yes, that's your mother. You want to try to be there for your mother and do everything for your mother. But on the flip side, you also have a life. So if once every month or out of the blue you want to go to a pottery class or whatever it is for you, just to get your mind off of things, you can invite her to the class. Maybe it's maybe they have different time slots to where you could take her shopping in the morning, let her handle her errands, and then go to the pottery class after, so you kind of get the best of both worlds.
Right, compromise. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I know, like, for me, I have to always do the running around for my mother. And I've learned, as I've gotten older, to say no. And say, like, I can't do it this day. This is the day I can do it. So it'll get done on this day. But it can't get done on the day that you want, but it's going to get done.
Right.
Because sometimes, you know, parents want things a certain way and they want it then and there, and they expect you to not have a life, like you said, and drop everything and just roll for them.
Yeah. What do you think about, you know, keeping with this question? Because I will say, personally, as a child, I went through a few things as a child, but I don't recall ever being given the silent treatment by a parent. But in treatment, it has come up quite a few times. Parents giving their children the silent treatment. And what do you think about this person saying, the 5th grade? How old are we in the 5th grade?
10.
Like 10.
How do you not talk to your child for a year at the age of 10?
Well, I think it's...
What do you think of that?
It's
I also
more
think
or less
it depends if they
mother.
live together or not.
Yeah, they live together.
So I think for me, I can say I've experienced certain things with my own mother, and she is like, where if she doesn't get her way, she'll kind of give you the cold shoulder, where she'll make fun of you in front of people, or she'll intentionally do things to put you down, try to belittle you. And as someone 10 years old, you don't even know who you are, you don't know what you're doing. You go to your mother or your guardian for guidance. So if they don't speak to you, it kind of shows you. So any and every time you don't do something that an adult wants you to do, it sticks with you in your adult life. So even if you have a partner and you don't do what your partner says to do, it kind of backlashes onto you, and it gets you to start asking, like, is there something wrong with me? Like, why am I being treated this way? Well, why is he not talking to me, or why is she not talking to me? What can I do to make them like me? And then you find yourself doing so much and so little at the same time. So much to please them, but so little to please yourself.
Right, because I noticed there's a huge correlation between abuse and perfectionism. Because I've learned from such extreme punishments, if I'm anything less than perfect, it has huge ramifications. So I would imagine if you're raised by a mother who will ice you out for a year, you would be extremely concerned with being perfect.
And I think that will make you also, like, vulnerable to relationships, because you're going to want to be perfect and you're going to want to do everything that this person asks you for, even if it goes against your better judgment, because you're going to know, I want to please them, I want to make sure that they're happy, I want to make sure that they stay in my life.
It may make you into, what is it called? Someone who becomes dependent.
Yeah.
So you won't move to Los Angeles if that person tells you, no, you don't need that job. It's not good for you. It's too far from me. Job paying double what you're making. They give you a penthouse and everything. Bentley.
Where's this job at? What you talking about?
Bentley.
And you're here.
So what do you think the silent treatment is? For me, I think it's a tool, a weapon used to control the behaviors of someone else.
It is, especially at a young age, when you know the child is going to want to get something from you,
right.
Whether it's guidance, whether it's assistance for something. As a female, and they're getting younger and younger, who may end up getting their menstrual, and they don't know which one to go to.
And I also feel like it's not even wanting. They need that
love.
Years.
They need that support. They need that mother. They need their mother. That you can have a godmother, you can have your best friend's mother or whomever mother, but your own mother, there's no love like your mother's love. You know, some people look at it as unconditional, but it's true. There's no such thing. There's no replacement. And when someone speaks to you for a whole year, it's like a shock.
For me, the silent treatment is abusive, period. And I'm not trying to shame people who've engaged in it, because let's be honest, most people might have engaged, even if it's for 3 hours or a day or whatever. I believe the silent treatment is abusive. I think there's nothing wrong with saying, let's say we get into a fight and I say, you know what, Lourdes, I'm upset, I can't talk about it right now. Is it okay if you give me a day? And then I don't talk to you for a day. I'm still gaining that space I need to recoup and re-energize, but I'm not punishing you. I've told you and I've explained to you, and then I'm taking the time that I need. But when someone just
cold turkey,
that is abuse to me.
It's abuse. It's disrespectful. It's shameful.
Yep.
I also have felt like the older I've gotten, I've noticed that from dealing with various different clients, I was raised to think like, yeah, mom has unconditional love for you, like you said, but I find like maybe some don't. Like maybe some
don't.
Yeah, some don't have that maternal instinct, or don't, like their child is not the be all end all, and I struggle with that too. Like I see sometimes, people that I know that I'm like, why is your parent not doing this? Why is your parent not doing that? To me, I'm like, I can't fathom that my mom is not there for me. And it's not like my mom's not alive. Like if your parent is alive, why are they not giving you that unconditional love? What happened to them? So you start to question like what happened to them in their childhood that made them
like
the way
what gap? Where did the gap start? Because it's not ending. They're still treating you that way, even as an adult. So, like you said, what happened to change you? Because you're not born that way.
Well, I think some people have children to give, right? And some people have children to take. So if I have a child and my objective is that this child is going to get older and support me, take care of me, like if that's my end goal, I think that's going to be a really dysfunctional relationship, because children aren't asked to be born and they don't really owe you anything. They didn't say, can I please be born? Like they're just brought into this world. You owe them a decent childhood, and you owe them to equip them to be independent adults, which means access to education, access to knowledge so that they can function on their own. But some people just don't approach it that way. And then I know a lot of people have complained to me, I parent my child, I parent my parent. Like I'm the parent in this dynamic. I'm the one taking care of raising, teaching, doing everything, and that's like super unhealthy. But this funny thing that you mentioned, because I think there's a fine balance between unconditional love and enabling. Right? So I think that, like for me and my parents, I don't feel like they ever enabled me. So it wasn't unconditional. Like I didn't get everything I wanted, and I didn't always get help, and I didn't always, well, not that I didn't always get help. I knew that the expectation was for me to succeed on my own, and if I really needed them, they'll be there. But it's not so much like I don't have to try too hard because mom and dad got me. Like I wasn't raised that way, and I appreciate that because I feel like it made
you the person you are. And it's true. I mean, there are people who were born with some spoon in their mouth, so they don't know anything about a struggle or a real struggle. They don't know what it's like to not have certain things or to have to do certain things to get those things. But then on the flip side of that, every now and then every child wants to just have that. They want to wake up to a gift just because, or they want to wake up to a Saturday morning where it's like, you know what, come on, let's go get our feet done. Let's go do something. Let's have a girls' day. Let's have a tea party in the house because there's a blizzard outside and we can't go anywhere.
Because we're quarantined.
Right. Okay. All right, so that's that one. We're gonna go back to dating. You ready? I'm dating someone new who I really like in theory. They're successful, they're smart, they're hot, they're great in bed. I mean, check, 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 check. But for some reason, I can't stop obsessing over my ex, who was a total bum. I don't know what to do.
I've heard and seen a lot of this with either the people I know or just clients in general, that they miss the BS. As crazy as that sounds.
Drama could be fun, yeah.
They miss it. They don't know. For them, if you have someone that's like a perfect guy, he's too straight arrow. Mm-hmm. Some people like that little ratchetness in their life. They need that little come on. So when they wake up, they know, oh, I like that argument because they're going to have makeup sex. Or if I say or do something to that person, they know it's going to tick them off because they know they're a turn-up queen. They look for that. Whether it's because they're lacking something themselves or they just need that in their life. They like drama.
Right. I also think that sometimes people will go towards those relationships again or want that bum, like you said, because they want to change them. They feel like, oh, I'm going to change them, so I want to go back because this perfect person, there's nothing, they're perfect. They might even be more perfect that they don't like deserve to be with me. You know, like sometimes you can also like maybe if you have like low self-esteem, you're going to be like, okay, well maybe this person's not going to be with me in the long run because they're going to find my flaws. Mm-hmm. So you'll want to go towards that bum because you know, well, I'm better than that person, or I have this, that, the third.
That is so true. There are people like that, and for those people, I look at them as either you're insecure and you don't want to admit to it, or you want to, like you said, be someone who's controlling. Mm-hmm. Like this.
Well, you're saying that people date, so to piggyback on what she's saying, people date down to be the superior partner?
In a sense, like sometimes there's something going on with themselves. They won't ever say it, but for people who know the real them, they can tell there's something not right.
Do you guys think I date down? Oh shit. Whatever. Let's continue.
Oh my God.
Like for example, I have a family member and he's engaged. He has one child, he has a son, and she got offended because his son's mother wanted to give him money, and she's like, no, let her keep it, I don't want it, he doesn't need it, but you're not giving it to him, so how you gonna tell him no, he can't but you're not doing your part? So I had to step back because I was at a point where I was going to say some things that weren't nice. And I said, you know what, Taisha, let me just mind your business. But then it made me realize that there are really people who, if they're not the go-to person, if they're not the one, like, the
that everyone calls,
the support, the I need you type person, mm-hmm. They feel like they're trash. They feel like they're missing out. And who knows? I mean, maybe they went through something younger, or maybe they're personally going through something, which is why I said maybe it's being insecure. It just depends.
Yeah. No, it's true. I think that at the end of the day, kind of like going into depth with this person, if from a therapeutic standpoint, what are the underlying issues that make them seek chaos and the inequality of like the match versus someone who's healthy? Kind of like, to make an analogy, like if you have an opportunity to watch a documentary on the disparities of education in communities of color, and then you could watch Love and Hip Hop, what is the average person going to choose?
Yeah.
They're going to choose Love and Hip Hop, even though it does nothing for you.
But make up of the show.
Right, that adrenaline rush. Right. And I think that that's kind of like a healthy man. I'm trying to be nice. A healthy man versus Help me out, because all I could think is really bad
Someone
names.
who needs more aspirations.
Okay.
All right.
That's
Chaotic man, whatever you want to call him. We tend to go towards chaos because it's exciting.
That's what I mean. They need that ratchetness. They need that pick me up. It's like their own coffee. If you have somebody that got a 3-piece suit, good job, straight arrow, there's nothing. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna talk about? What drama are you gonna?
Does that change for age? Because I feel like I'm ready for that though. I feel like
a straight arrow.
I think no. All right. So,
but I think it also has to do with their personality. They could be straight arrow and they could still be hood mentality. Or
right.
maybe
See,
not.
now that's not a bad thing.
Right.
That's not bad because you have the best of both worlds. But for some people who are just naturally like a Cardi B person with a straight arrow, it wouldn't work. She would turn that person out.
Right.
But maybe that person deep down, maybe they want to be turned out. And they just don't want to come out and say it to disappoint people.
So this question comes to mind. What do you guys think, or what do you make of people who want to date inmates? Why do you think that's a thing?
Security. You know they're not going anywhere.
Wait, what?
I'm thinking. I don't know.
No, I mean I don't think that's completely like bug wild.
The way she said it, though, they're not going anywhere.
Well, they locked up.
You know where
Okay.
they're at. You know where they're at.
Okay.
They're secure.
I think it's
But they be players too. Don't get it twisted.
No,
I know.
They be
That's
having
true.
like 20 people writing them
Letters.
and calling them, and
That's
yeah.
true.
it's the test. It's to see if you could. For some people, it's they want to be loved. For some, they're
But
not
there's plenty of people that love you
themselves.
out here. Why would
It's
you?
not the same. It's the chase. It's the cat and mouse.
And also,
Cat and mouse. They're in a cell locked up.
And
Yeah, but they have
it's-
time. They have time to give you all the love in the world because they're not doing anything else with their lives. So they
Love
can-
like this, like how
yeah.
I love.
Yeah, well, they'll
Oh.
call you, be like, oh, you're so pretty. Oh, baby, what you
They
doing?
may not
They
get that
want
in the
to-
real world.
Oh.
And they may, I'm sorry to say, they may be just straight ugly. And the person is telling them, you are beautiful. And, you know, next thing you know,
That's not nice,
it's not
Shaisha.
my fault.
Wait, I'm ugly. What are they?
There's a lot of
Which one?
very good looking people that date inmates. But okay, let's go even more pathological with it. Some of these serial killers that have had famous trials, and they've been given life sentences, even like death row sentences,
And have a whole
and they
clan.
get tons of fan mail.
Yeah.
Women who want to marry them and be with them.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who killed like 30 women.
And
I
they
know I have my
stay
issues. But I'm not trying to date someone that's murdered 30 women.
Right.
There's start to them. It goes back to one to feel like you're important. You want to be somebody. Even if my husband is a serial killer, he got me. He gonna kill you.
He won't kill me because he's already in jail.
Right? Like,
Oh, you know what's so funny though? Now that you're touching on something, I can say from personal experience. When you're dating someone who's bad, but he's good to you, it gives you this false sense of being special. And I think that's sometimes, something people are chasing. Like, this guy is evil, but with me, he's kind. Therefore,
He's
there's
perfect,
something
yeah.
special about me. And he's just pretending until he's ready to kill you, too. But, you know. Alrighty. Moving right along.
Inmates and serial killers.
I'm going a little less crazy. I have a really close friend, but every time I text them, they take like 2 days to respond. It really bothers me. What should I do about it? I'll add a piece. I've already talked to them, and they said it's just that they get caught up.
it's been 2 days.
So the relationship that they have with this friend is they text them like, "Hey boo, how's your day going?" And the friend will respond. Let's say they text them on a Wednesday. The friend responds on a Friday. And they find it frustrating. And when
And
they
it
brought it to the
continues.
friend's attention, why does it take you 2 days to respond to me? And then the friend says,
I'm just
I get
busy.
caught up, I get busy.
Well, that can be legit, depending on what the person have going on. Like if they have multiple jobs, kids, being a husband or a wife. Some people can't juggle it. They may be going through their own personal issues. So in that case, I would say as the other friend who's a little offended, try to understand it from their perspective. I'm pretty sure there's a point in time where they don't want to be bothered too, but they feed into still responding to a text. And what they don't realize is that you need your peace. And every time you feed into that phone call or text or whatever it is, you're not at peace. You're not giving your body a chance to say, stop. Take a little time for yourself, and then in 2 days, you'll have more to talk about. I mean, there's friends that I've had that I speak to maybe once a week and a half, and I could be across the bridge from them. Doesn't make them any less of a friend or a best friend or whatever. It just means we have lives.
Now, what would happen, I guess, piggyback on this, what about if, like, is that friend available to you, like, if you were having a crisis, though? Not just if you're saying hi, but if you were to reach out and, like, you really need that friend,
will they be there?
Because then I would question my friendship.
But then the goal is to say, is that a friend or an associate?
Right.
And
if you take 2 days to respond to me on a regular, not like we all get caught up.
No, but on
a regular basis, you are an associate.
Right. But there are some people who can't handle that reality that you are who you are. You're an associate. There are co-workers, associates, and friends who become family. And if you can't accept who you are and where you stand at in my life, then that's a hard pill to swallow. But for some people, they want to have 1,000 friends for whatever reason, popularity or whatever it is,
to feel validated,
right.
to feel good enough. I think you need more than one friend, because what if one's busy, right? What if one's fucking up? Excuse my French. You need another friend or two,
right.
But you shouldn't need 35. First of all, how do you have that much time to manage 35 friends? Even, I've never understood that about players, both female and male. Like, how do you have the time to dedicate 10 people? Dating one person exhausts me.
It does.
Yeah.
How do you date that many people? I'll never get it.
I think it's just that they don't have
anything going on
as much as we do.
Clearly, because like I said, sometimes you get in relationships you don't know you've been them, and I've done that a few times. Like, wait.
Wait, you get in relationships and don't know you're in them? You mean
wow.
You got booed up and didn't realize it? They didn't give you a memo?
Be in the midst of the conversation or whatever you're doing, and then the next day, you're like, hold it.
I think men do that. I don't think women do that.
No, I have to constantly tell them, like, my relationship, like, okay, I'm here for you, but I have like 20 million other things that I have to be here for too. So.
No, what I'm saying is, what I think she's talking about, sometimes men, I gotta be careful how I say this, because I don't want to get accused of being sexist. Men will, at times, with more frequency, have the arrogance to think we are a relationship when I decide we are a relationship. Versus women, we don't tend to do that. We know that to be a relationship requires the two people agreeing upon it. So I think being in a relationship without realize, when did I agree to that? It's typically a female experience. That's kind of what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I wasn't offensive to men, right?
No.
Sorry, guys. Okay, so that's done. This is a more serious topic, but when my boyfriend wants sex and I say no, he won't talk to me for a few days. Those days are so difficult for me that I started to just have sex even when I didn't want to. But I don't think this is a healthy situation, and I really wanted to stop. But I can't go through the silent treatment anymore, and I don't want to lose him. It's such a predicament. What do I do?
I would go into, what are the underlying reasons that you don't want to have sex? Is it because you're afraid that you're going to get pregnant? Is it because you're menopausal, you're not, in the mood? Or is it because you don't feel good about the way you look, and maybe that's why you don't feel comfortable, being naked or being, having sex? There's so many. I would find out why is it that she doesn't want to have.
But it can go both ways.
She or him, yeah.
It can be, why do you need it all the time?
What is the sex drive? Why is there disparity in the sex drive?
There's someone I know in particular who says that sex helps with their migraines. And me being me, I have to research this because I need to know how does that have anything to do with your head.
I don't agree because I have migraines all the time.
You say you have sex all the time?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
It never helps, you say.
But I have to ask, how does it help you? And this person's like, because once they release all their stress and frustration, it's gone. So
maybe the headaches are a symptom of being horny. People feel all types of things when they're aroused. Yeah,
it could be, but I don't think that she should feel like guilty about not wanting to sleep with the person, because it may be the other side. Like, she may want it and he's like, no. Or he's giving it up just because he knows by the end of the night he's gonna want it too. So he has like an alternative motive, you know. So.
Yeah, I think that, to kind of say what you said, you have to assess, like, if he's trying to initiate sex once a week and she's saying no, then maybe that there's a reason he's frustrated to the point where he's shutting down.
Right.
I mean, he's not a bad guy. Because at first, when I wrote the question, I wrote it like, this is a bad guy. But when you brought that up, I said, well, yeah, there are certain circumstances where maybe he's not. But if they're having sex like every day, and then there's some days she says no and he doesn't talk to her, that is borderline abusive. Like,
and there are people that will do it, or there are some people where they only want to see you in a particular position because it benefits them. They don't know how to compromise. And
you talking about sex position?
No,
I'm not saying there aren't people like that. I was just trying to understand. I was just trying to understand
where was this going.
There are people who only want to be in a certain position because they ejaculate faster.
Yeah, I think that for sure.
Because, like, for example, as a man, it may benefit them more to see from a
this
certain
angle.
Right.
To that angle.
Compared to that angle. And for a female, she may get a Charlie horse, so it may not work that way.
Keep it real. Just keep it real.
I have no words.
It
certain places you can rise up on one
Why this question turn into like sex Charlie horses? Like, I'm very confused. But alright, I'm gonna go with it. So you're creating a whole alternate scenario. So like you're saying, what if I'm saying no to sex because the sex you're offering isn't up to par? Like, it's not.
It could just be too. It could be too much. Like, I think some men don't realize that we're internal. So if you're doing it non-stop, like, there's some men who they only get off if furniture's moving. Like, you have to make noise or something. Seriously. So for some people, if they're constantly
I'm never gonna look at you the same after this. No.
I'm learning new things for a minute myself.
Who are you dating? You're gonna pass some numbers over here.
Oh,
furniture moving. I don't know about all that.
If they're constantly putting you in this particular position or doing this, and they're not watching your body or listening to you or listening to what you like, after a while, the sex gets boring. It's one-sided.
It's really hard to tell a man. It's really hard to criticize a man sexually, even if it's constructive. I think that depending, you're looking at me like, not me, girl, but no, like, I think men.
My face says it all. Right?
There are like a lot of fragile. In my experiences in my life, when I have tried to say, hey, maybe you could do it this way, it hasn't been received well.
Oh, it's never gonna be received well.
Oh, you just don't give a crap.
No, I got what we came here to do, and
all right. So hold on. On the flip side, wait, is this still this question? Yes. The thing that concerns me about this case, let's talk like a therapist now, right?
Okay.
So what concerns me about this case is that she is subjecting herself to sexual touch that is unwanted. And they think that could have long-term effects on her, negative effects. So my initial reaction as a therapist would be, this person, needs to be able to be comfortable setting sexual boundaries, because nobody should be subjected to that, where you're being forced into sexual acts that you don't want to do. Like, your body is your body.
It may lead to a point where she's being forced into a and
that's how Demi Moore wrote about that in her book.
It happens, and sometimes
happen.
some people want it and some people don't. And for those who don't, that usually doesn't go well. And if he's constantly trying to force himself on her after she's giving and giving and giving and giving, it makes her feel like, okay, go ahead, do whatever. But not just to him. It may be to anyone after him.
And it can go to all different areas
It's
of
like
life
sexual
too.
abuse too. Like you're going into like relationships that where there's sexual abuse, yeah.
And just abuse in general. Just if I'm okay with you forcing me to do A, how long is it gonna take before I become okay with you forcing me to do anything else?
Mm-hmm.
And now, depending on the situation, it may take a little longer than normal, or it could be blink of an eye, but it can happen.
Sure. Well, here's the thing. He's using the silent treatment, which I've already said time before, is a form of abuse and is a form of control. So the only way that she could stop it is by not allowing it to control her. So silent treatment only works when the person that is being given the silent treatment is suffering.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm suffering because you're not talking to me, I am then going to submit to you. Because I need you to talk to me again so I'm no longer suffering. But the moment I take that power from you and I say, I'm good, you cannot talk to me tomorrow, next week, next month, or ever, because I'm not going to value someone who does that to me, then you take back your power. And I think that's what she needs to do, is take back her power. But it's hard, right?
No, it's never easy, especially if you're not used to it or if you've never had to be in that particular position, I guess. It's like, how do you handle it? What do? You don't want your partner to not speak to you because that's your partner.
Yeah. It's not fun, but...
And is it a form of control also?
It could be. Because once you get what you get, you want to not talk to me again.
Right.
Until you want it again. So.
Of course.
More.
Right.
Where do the lines get drawn? Okay. Ready for the next one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My father, ever since I could remember, would come in and out of my life. It's the strangest thing. He goes between being completely MIA to being the best dad in the world. I don't want to cut him off because I love him so much, but every time he leaves, I fall apart and slip into a deep depression. I don't know what to do.
Keep him at a distance.
That's difficult.
Because it's not fair to her, or the person rather, that they are faced with that. There's like a saying that a man has a girl that's daddy's girl. So usually when a woman marries, she marries someone to mimic their father. And if all she knows is that they're in and out, in and out, in and out, will my husband do that to me? Or my boyfriend or whomever?
Right. They attach insecurely.
So, and then you may find yourself attaching to people who you have no business even being involved with. So, although it will be difficult, keep them at a distance, and like what you said earlier, just watch the person's actions and see if they change.
I would definitely question it. I would have a conversation with the dad, if I was the person. Like, why? What is it? What's happening that you keep leaving my life? And see if they have a response, because I feel like as a child, I owe it. I deserve to know if I'm your daughter. Why do you keep going in and out of my life? Like, I'm not just any random person.
Right, and it could also lead to self-blame. Like, they may start to think that there's something wrong with them as to why they keep leaving, or they need to like change something or fix something or do something to keep him there.
Right. No, it's true. And I think everyone's preference, is personal, but for me, I don't care how amazing you are. If you can't be consistent, I don't want you around. Because I'm like that. Like, if someone brings me a lot of joy and we have like this positive relationship, but every so often they want to dip and it deregulates me to the point where I'm depressed or anxious, you gotta go. You gotta go.
Yeah.
You left, stay left.
Right.
Because it's so traumatic, right?
It is.
Anyway, this has been fun.
Yes, I have.
Very interesting.
Okay.
We've learned a lot about you.
I'm just saying.
That's true. What's her name again?
Rize-Up rocks.
No, I know Rize-Up rocks.
What's your take?
What's your take?
And
What's
we're
your
from
take?
Rize-Up Bronx.
I hope you've enjoyed this episode of What's Your Take
What's your take?
with Rize-Up Rocks. Bye, y'all.